Hi, everyone. It's Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm joined by Bernard Deneen from the Citizen Channel. How you doing, Bernard?
Yes, well, I'm not lying in bed like you, mate. That's no way. That's not professional.
Well, it's the best I could do. I'm in this B&B that I stayed at last year up in near Edinburgh, and it's a small room. Last year I had a massive room, big double bed and everything, and it's a decent bed, but there's not a lot of room. The room is full of my gear because I was gigging and I'm going over to Northern Ireland tomorrow, so there's no space. And last year I had a desk. I had a bigger room. It's just like a bedside cabinet. So I thought, I can't be bothered going into the kitchen and doing a stream there. I'll do it here. Actually, just before I came on, I'm sitting in bed here like this, ready to talk to you.
Your viewers expect a higher production value. I'm sorry, it's just not good enough.
Someone had a go at me for that a few years ago. Talked about this was on the Man City Fan TV days. It was esteemed company. He criticised our production values, and I just said, well, I'd rather focus on content. Yeah, I don't care about production values. All right, I like them to be nice and stuff, but I'm more focused on the quality or.
Well, I mean, when I used to watch him, he was sat in his bloody living room. There's nothing cityfied in it at all. Where's the production values in that?
Maybe his lighting was better, or maybe his thumbnails were better. I don't know.
It probably is all right. I've not watched him for a long time. He's probably got something a bit. I mean, he's earning money. He's earning a living from it now, so he's probably got a better setup, I hope.
Yeah, I think. But City Extra have got more subscribers now, haven't they? City Extra, they've got a lot more subscribers. And then if you want to go down to the video, I put a video up yesterday that my mate Waleed Hope in Algeria did for me, and it was in Arabic, so I'm not going to get a lot of people watching it. But that guy's got over 400,000 subscribers. That's good numbers. I think he's doubled his subscribers in the last 2 or 3 years. So, maybe if I start learning some Arabic, talking in Arabic, I don't know if that's the way to do it in YouTube.
Don't subtitles come on?
Well, not on his. I don't even know what he said.
All right, just say I know I get subtitles on mine. I mean, they don't. I mean, with my accent and my talk, it's totally up the wall. But you can get the gist of it.
Yeah, I might go and watch his video because I'll be honest, I don't know what he's talking about because I don't speak Arabic or I don't understand it. So I'll put his video out. It's a 5-minute video about Riyad Mahrez leaving City, and maybe I'll go and put the subtitles on so I can actually understand what he said. Even everybody, it's not. I mean, we're laughing and joking. It's not the the best, most joyous stream we're going to do tonight. We'll try and keep it reasonably light-hearted.
Life has to go on, mate, and I'm sure the gentleman were a little bit sad about would want that because he was that sort of guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about obviously we're going to talk mainly about David Silva. Looks like he will be retiring. It's not been confirmed yet. All these people who say it's been confirmed, I don't think it's been confirmed. He's considering it, apparently, seriously considering it. So we'll talk about David Silva. We'll talk about Paul Hince, who was a writer, senior sports writer football writer for the Manchester Evening News. There you go. I was going to say, I just saw that book online. And he was a City player, not many games, but he's interesting. His story is interesting if you go back to 2021. So we'll go through that. And did you see him play, Bernard?
I would have done. Yeah, I mean, I would have done. It's quite funny reading his thing because he got mistook for Colin Bell. He got mistook for Stan Bowles, of course. So I probably thought the same because he used to have the same haircuts in those days. So I would have watched him at Main Road. I wouldn't have watched him away from Main Road, but yeah, he would have. I might have even gone to reserve games as well with him in because he played quite a lot of reserve team games as well.
So I can say with your dodgy eyesight, you'd have probably thought he was Carlton Palmer.
Well, yeah, it was on its way. Yeah, even I was in junior school then, but yeah, it wasn't. That's when I was told I had to wear glasses, so it wasn't great.
Yeah. So my Carlton Palmer joke was wasted on you anyway.
Sorry, mate. Well, he says in his book he's laughing about the goalkeeper. I think it's Harry Dowd, who's apparently blind as a bat as well. So, it's a cracking book. It is a brilliant book. If you can get hold of it, if you've not got it, it's superb.
Yeah. I was just going to start, gassing about some other stuff, but some fellow just walked into my room just before I came online with you. I'm sat here in bed, okay, with my sunglasses on, and he just walks in. And I think, right, okay. So I closed my room, locked the door now. So it's not one of these. It's a B&B, not a hotel. A hotel, you close the door, it's locked. This guy just straight in. Anyway. So yeah, we'll start off by talking about Hince. So a bit of background about Paul Hince. He played for Manchester City back in the late 60s as part of. He was there when Malcolm Allison was there the first time.
Yeah, well, Malcolm Allison came to watch him, and he liked what he saw. And Joe Mercer actually rang him to invite him to play for the A team for a few games, reserves for a few games, see how it went. And of course, he did. Yeah, he was quite lucky. He scored a couple of goals, did well in the reserves, and scored a couple of goals on his debut. But Joe Mercer liked him. He was honest with him. He said, obviously, he can't guarantee what's going to happen long term, but he liked what he saw at the time.
Yeah, well, before he started as a footballer, he was a journalist. And then I'm just reading through some stuff. He went to Old Trafford. He scored a few goals for City in the 67-68 season. Played
that debut season at Old Trafford, the first reserve team he played, he ended up having 12 stitches. He got hit by a bottle thrown from the Stretford end. There was a crowd of 20,000 in for a reserve game. That's what it was like in those days. And he had to have 12 stitches after the game for he took a corner and got smacked on the head by a lemonade bottle.
Right, so I was going to say there were thugs back then, 60s. But so his, I'm going to say, claim to fame. Okay, back in the day, when he was in the City side or the squad when we won the league title in 67-68, but I don't think he played enough games.
He played 6 league games and 4 League Cup games.
Yeah, so he didn't play enough for whatever reason. He didn't get a league.
You didn't get him. You didn't get him for that at that stage, no.
Yeah. And there were 3 others. Do you know the other players who didn't get this?
Dowd, Kennedy, and Horn.
Okay. Now, back in 2021, I think it was, they were all 4 of them. Medals were issued to them. I think it was his son who collected.
Yeah, he was suffering from Alzheimer's then in 2021, so he couldn't make it.
And then, they all received medals. The league title winners medals, which I think is right and proper. Would you class him as a journeyman footballer? Because you look at his rest of his career, he didn't play a lot of games, 130 games.
Yeah,
only 30.
He does himself. He was obviously he preferred journalism. I think he just I mean, the fact that he was on £2 was it
a week.
£2, 7 and 6 as a journalist, and then City offered him 25 quid a week. So what's he going to do? He's on 10 times what he was on. So, but yeah, he liked football. Of course he did, but he knew he was never going to be anything fantastic.
He played a few games for Charlton. He played for Bury, Crewe, Alexandra, and Macclesfield Town, where I think he finished his career there. And he played 130 games in total. Scoring 13 goals. And then he went, after retiring from the game, he started in 66 playing for City, finished 7 years later at Macclesfield. You could see he's going down and down the leagues there. And he went back to becoming a journalist, working for the Manchester Evening News as the City correspondent. And apparently this is in the book, isn't it, Bernard? There's a little story about he used to annoy Alex Ferguson.
Oh yeah, he used to wind him up, and Ferguson used to ask him if he wanted tablets and was he ill and stuff like this. So he didn't actually throw him out, but obviously he enjoyed winding him up.
Yeah, he wasn't. Ferguson was. I mean, obviously, I only see the text. I don't know the context. Was Ferguson annoyed with him, or was he just having a laugh?
A bit of both. He could be very cutting, but he could be sensible as well. That's the thing. He knew his stuff. If you know his stuff, I think he probably put up with that. He allowed that because he knew what he was talking about. So, yeah, but he did push it sometimes, and he pushed it to City fans as well and players. He used to upset City players, the fans, as well as United fans and Ferguson. So it didn't bother him. He called in the old days. We called a what's it, didn't he? I won't say it, but he didn't mess about. And I'll be honest with you, I started some scrapbooks in the 90s. Yeah. Literally every match report was Paul Hince. So I do a lot of stuff and read his stuff. And he's very honest, and I was very hard to disagree with most of what he said, whether good or bad.
Yeah, when he scored, as the Blackburn Blu-ray says, when he scored 2 goals on his debut, he's going to have a little chance, of doing something, because you get a lot of credit for scoring a goal.
Yeah, and he didn't play again though that season. He should have had a hat trick, he said, because he was that knackered. He should have got to a ball at the end of it, the post, but it was because he'd played on the Good Friday against Bolton, and Alisson had told him to turn up an hour before kickoff on the Easter Sunday. It was Easter, and Alisson told him he wouldn't play. It was just precaution, but Alisson knew he was playing, but he didn't want to get him all stressed out. So he told him he wasn't playing, and obviously then he landed that. So he was absolutely knackered still, probably from the Good Friday game. And he said he could have had a hat trick, but he was just too tired by the end of the game to get to the ball.
Well, it's a shame to see him go. He's 78 years old, and we pass on our condolences to his family, colleagues, ex-colleagues, and friends. We're going to move on to have a chat about David Silva now. It looks like he suffered a serious ACL injury. Well, they all are serious. And it appears that he is considering retirement from football, because this sort of injury, you're looking at, I think, best part of 9 months for recovery. And David, he's knocking on a bit now. He's a crack, obviously. He's a City legend. There's a statue of him at the ground, but he's, I think he's 37. He's 37 years old. So by the time this gets sorted, he'll be 38. And, you get into the last knockings of he's already in, I guess, the last knockings of his career. And so I think it could well be the end for David Silva. But, whilst it is very, very sad, it gives us a chance to reflect and remember what he's won. I'll tell you about what he's won, and then we'll go and have a chat with Bernard about what he. I don't focus just on stats. I want to talk about emotions and feelings, and see what Bernard felt about David Silva. So David, obviously Spanish. He's same height as me, 5'7", and there the similarities end. He's got a beautiful wife, so we've got that in common as well. He started off at Valencia, went on loan to Eibar and Celta, and then he came to Manchester City. Now, he went to Eibar and Celta whilst he was at Valencia. Obviously, Valencia weren't kicking him out. He had early spells, so he started obviously with Valencia's second team, Valencia B. Then he went to Eibar and Celta on loan, and then he became a permanent figure in that Valencia team. Played 119 games for Valencia, scoring 21 goals, which is a decent return. And then he had that mega move, and it was for City, David, and Valencia. They needed the money. It's as simple as that. They needed the money. I think City wanted to get David Villa at the same time, but I don't know what happened. I can't remember what happened in that deal. I think David, whatever I forgot his name. He went off to I forgot his name. I just mentioned his name. He went off to was it Barcelona? He went to. Anyway, I digress. I'm forgetting half the stuff. But he ended up at Man City. Was that the season where we had the big bunch of signings in 2010? I think was that the season we had Yaya as well. He played 309 games for City. He scored 60 goals. He wasn't obviously a big goal scorer. He scored about 1 in every 5, but he got plenty of assists. And I used to call him the king of the pre-assist. He used to make that a delightful pass to a winger or whoever, so they could easily pass it, cross it in or pass it into somebody else to tap him. But the goal was created by David Silva, but no one keeps stats on pre-assists. And obviously, he did his time at City 10 years. He had his statue. Then he decided, I think City wanted him to stay. I believe they offered him an extra year, but he wanted to go back to Spain, and he went to Real Sociedad. And I don't know about you, Bernard, but I did keep an eye on David Silva because
he's won a couple of pots there, hasn't he? As well, he's won a couple of things with him, I think.
Yeah. So, well, I watched it a little bit when he first went because I wanted to see, obviously David Silva. He was on it. I think I said many times he was my favourite City player. That up to that point, my favourite City player. With the Real Sociedad, they won the Copa del Rey in 2020. That was I think it was his first season with them. That's when he won that. So obviously, his glittering career. He's won. I'm going to pick up some stuff that he's won. So he won at Valencia. They won the Copa del Rey. At City, he won 4 league titles, 2 FA Cups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 League Cups. He won for Spain. They won the under 19 Euros in 2004. You can't forget that he won the World Cup in 2010 and the Euros with the full Spanish team in 2008. Lots of other individual honours. You got I don't know the name of this, but because he was from the Canary Islands, he got the Medalla de Oro de Canaries and other stuff in France. So look, he's got a fantastic career behind him. So I'm going to ask you, Bernard, what are your thoughts? What do you remember about David's time at Man City? Look, he's not died. He's just got an injury. But he looks like he's going to retire.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I've been doing a lot on just recently, Edin Dzeko and Sergio Aguero, different things for the channel, and it's amazing, like you said, it's amazing how often he's popping up with these little intricate balls. Not the assists as you say generally, just a little bit further back in the build up to it. And of course, Gunter did Gundo the other week as well. Yeah. Obviously, he was on, and that's what he was. I mean, that's the whole joy of him, because when he came, he got a lot of disrespect, not particularly from City fans, but a lot from other fans laughing at him. As you said, you mentioned David Villa there, that everyone probably at the time was looking at him as the hero. He'd sort of missed out, hadn't he, on the World Cup with Spain. He was in the squad, but he hadn't particularly contributed, if you like, as much as some of the other guys. So he seems to be an all-star around the time. It was a time, of course, 2010-11, when we were sort of, as you say, buying lots of players. Some would work, some wouldn't. Other fans were laughing at us spending all this money and spending money on this guy who, and then he scored that. I think, was it the Blackpool goal, that momentous goal he scored that he came on as a sub. I think it was the 90th minute. It wasn't the classiest of games, but it was just, memories of King Clancy in a way. And you thought, hey, he's a goal scorer as well. But that's where he's probably fell down a little bit. I think he could have scored a few more goals. But hey, he was in midfield. He did, at the end of the day, he did enough there. I mean, it doesn't matter. He perhaps had a lack of goals. He scored a few for Spain, though, didn't he? I think he scored a lot more proportion-wise for Spain than he did for City, but probably because of the way they played. But a fantastic play. And you think about that illness he had with his lad.
Yeah.
Obviously, his lad. I mean, he obviously had a bit of time off for that, but when he came back from that, he was like a man possessed. You'd think he would be the opposite after being so upset, but because of the way the club had treated him and the fans had reacted, it just lifted him to another level at that stage. He was always at a high level, of course.
Yeah.
But he was even better after that. Then when after that happened, and thankfully everything worked out and it was fine. But what a great player! It's
interesting. At Valencia, he was scoring a goal almost 1 in 6. At City, it was 1 in 5. For Real Sociedad, it was 1 in about 12. For Spain, You're bang on here, Bernard. He scored 35 goals in 125 games. That's,
just under 4, just
one
over
in
3.
every 3.5. One in every 3.5.
It must be just tactically wise because he was capable. When he did score goals, they were usually pretty good. They were, they weren't rubbishy tap-ins all the time. They were cracking goals. So he had the talent. To some extent, I'm thinking of someone like Grealish. Now he's got to come up to that level. He's looking a bit like David Silva, but that's not how we're playing Grealish. We want him to contribute far more than he's doing. But for David Silva, because he's doing so much else, it didn't really matter at the end of the day.
There's one thing, okay, when a good player can say average stats, when you look at goals and assists, whatever, most opposition fan bases use that as a stick to beat him with. But David Silva's such a humble, lovely guy.
Yeah.
That opposition.
How could you not like? I mean, how could you not like? All right, he's 1 foot as well, wasn't he? Let's be honest about it. He's another 1 foot guy, but hey, so what?
Yeah,
Didn't do Lionel Messi any harm. It doesn't do old Bernardo any harm, does it? Now with with his 1 foot.
Yeah. Well, my point is, despite him being a City player and everything, other fan bases still love David Silva. He's one of the favourites. If you look at City players, the other fan bases look at City, they'll say he was one of City's their favourites.
Yeah, I mean, you ask fans who did want in their team from the City's team from back then, from the 11s, 12s, 13s, 14, from those years. I'm sure he would have cropped up time and time again.
And here's another thing. İlkay Gündoğan at that time was in and out. Okay, now you see how good İlkay Gündoğan has been in the last basically 3 or 4 seasons, especially since David Silva's gone, because that's giving him a proper run in the team. And then you kind of put 2 and 2 together and say, İlkay Gündoğan is awesome. David Silva kept him out of the team. That's how good David Silva was. He was, better than İlkay Gündoğan. But he was, one of my favourite players. I mean, I've gone through some stuff on Twitter. A lot of people having their say about him. I'm just going to see if I can pull up all his trophies. If I've got it, I think I did save it. So we've got a quick list of everything. 1 World Cup, 2 UEFA Euro winners, blah, blah, blah. 4 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 2 Spanish Cups, 5 Carabaos and 3 Community Shields. But he won a stack of stuff at City. And obviously for Spain as well. So
he had some interesting hairstyles as well, didn't he?
I used to say when he shaved his head, was he better with his head shaved? I think he was. He went through that's when his son was ill, and he was brilliant. And then he grew back, and he wasn't as good. I said, "Shave it, man."
He was the opposite to Samson once. He was the opposite.
Absolutely. But no, as I said, there's very few players who can have a statue outside the ground of the current crop of players since the takeover. Okay, so takeover's back 14, 15 years ago now, so it's a while. Only 3 players, I think, have got statues. That's Vincent, that's Sergio, and David. Yaya got a training pitch named after him. Shows his level. But David Silva, absolute City legend through and through. And as you say, any other fan base would dream to have David Silva playing for them. He was, as I said, he was my favourite player at City. But he had so much class, so much skill. And I was going through Twitter looking at people's fond memories. One of the most fondest, that Blackpool game, people loved that. Do you remember the whole game where we had who was sent off? Was it Company? Oh, somebody was sent off early doors.
Yeah, it was Company, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then, was it? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And then we obviously we needed to win that. We wanted to win it, and David Silva came up with a man of the match performance. Scored a peach of a goal from outside the box, I think. And we ended up winning, I think, 2-0. And we kind of controlled that game. It was it was awesome. So
never in doubt that game. Even say we were a bit susceptible when we went down to 10 men. some teams aren't, but we used to be. But yeah, wonderful. So where all didn't he kick something as he went down the tunnel? Company, I remember. He did some damage to something in the whole tunnel anyway, and he got sent off.
Well, there you go. That's what I was saying. Opposition fans love David Silva. There we go. The Blackpool goal and game I will never forget. Well, you could walk to the ground, couldn't you? Blackpool. but you were sad to see them get relegated because that was a short walk to the ground. Going to Blackpool is a great day out. It's a shame then, obviously, they're not in the Premier League. They know we're in sight now. Because that's great. You can go on the Big Dipper and then see City collect 3 points.
Big Dipper. Not that down on me, mate. I think it's something else now.
My lad went up, was it last week or the week before? He went on, I don't know what rides they go on now. I haven't been to Blackpool for the rides for a while. We went last year. But I'm more of let me grab some fish and chips and then go on rides anymore. But we'll try and go up to Blackpool, I think, later on this year. So yeah, David Silva. Well, read what Blackpool Brewery says. The whole game was a masterclass. Absolutely, guys. I can feel it. I'm absolutely bushed. That's why I'm lying here in bed. Besides it being a small room and I've got space to swing a cat, but I was up at 5 o'clock this morning to get off to this gig, and then I'm going to tell you the story. I get to this place, dump my stuff here, have an hour. I went off to make my Cole Palmer video, and that didn't make me late, but left me. I was going to get to where I was going 20 minutes ahead of my show, and I don't know how my sat nav went somewhere totally opposite. I ended up at what's it called? Is it Knockhill? You're not into your racing, are you? So it's a racetrack. I ended up at Knock. I don't know how I ended up at the wrong place. Totally wrong.
Not a racetrack. Cars, you mean?
I think it is. I'm gonna have a look. I think it's called Knockhill.
All right.
Something like that.
I used to be into horse racing, but I'm not really do that much these days.
It's a racing circuit, so I guess it'll do motor racing. It'll probably do motorbikes as well, I guess. So it's near Dunfermline. I'm just reading it. It's near Dunfermline. I should have figured out that I'd gone to the wrong place. Well, because the thing is, but I don't know the area, so I just followed the sat nav, and it says you are here. And I looked, and I was at an empty field. That's when I thought, maybe it's around the corner. That's when I thought, shh, because I've turned up with 20 minutes to spare, and I go to my sat nav. I don't know why it's obviously done something odd. Put the right place in. It's 40 minutes away. I crap myself because I'm there for a gig. I'm there to get paid, and then I had another gig afterwards. So I'm thinking if I'm going to be
knock-on effect.
Yeah. So next gig wasn't too bad because they'd give me a bit of extra time to get there, so I wasn't going to be too bad. But this first one, this is the reason I came to Scotland. I'm not coming for no money. And I thought, oh no. And then, but it was very, very fortunate because I got there. I've been driving for about an hour, and more than that actually. I got there. They had some music on, kids, and I won't show you the videos, but of me dancing. But
no, don't show us. Please don't show us the videos. That's fine. That's okay.
Oh, you cheeky son. So I got some. Having said that, I thought I was all right, but I've seen some people send me some video of the. I'm thinking, oh.
Yeah, well, you always think you're doing all right, then you watch it back and you think, oh, flipping it.
Yeah. But no, I'm for about 20, 25 minutes. I was like bouncing about. I was full of beans. So I rescued it because the book, she come up to me and said, "Oh, it was fantastic. Manager's really happy." Blah blah blah. So I want to do it again. Come back next year hopefully and do it again. Blackpool Blue. What's this? Walk to the ground. I was walking on air after that game. So yeah. we're just going to shoot the breeze for a few minutes before I collapse with.
Do you think you went to it? Do you think you left us too early? Do you think you should have given us another season?
Here's the thing. I thought about this when a couple of times I've mentioned this video I saw from Ferran talking about when a player is like an N shape and a top manager is still on the upward curve. We don't know where people are at the time. And the thing is, I thought he had another season in him. I wanted him to stay, but he was already 34. He was on his way down. And you don't know how quick that is, but even though I saw him the first few games for Sociedad, he wasn't the same player as he was at City because the people around him weren't as good. The players around him when he was 33, 34 at City, they allowed him to that luxury of having time and space because can you imagine, there's KDB there, so someone's got their eyes on KDB, gives David Silva a bit more space.
Yeah, it'd be the similar thing for Gundo, really, won't it? Looking at now he's going to do at Barcelona. With I'm not saying they've got rubbish players, but it'd be interesting to see how he does cope.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be as good. And there's part of that. So when I saw David Silva playing for Sociedad, I thought, oh, we got rid of him at the right time. But he chose to go. We wanted him to stay. So I actually reassessed my thoughts and think we could have got another season out of him because of the players he was playing with. Same with Gundogan. That's how Fernandinho stayed so long because of the players around him. So as his powers were waning, he still looked decent for City, very, very decent, even when he was like 35 years old because of the players around him. And I think another season of David would have been similar where the other players around him would have supported him and given him that the luxury of, as I said, of time and space. That is a quality players always seem to have time and space, but he seemed to have more. And I think he'd have been fine for one more season, and that's why they wanted him to stay. But he decided, 10 years is enough? He's been here a long time, and I think he wanted to obviously go back to Spain and not leave it too late. If he stayed with us another season, it would probably have been too late for him in Spain. And first season in Spain, won the Copa del Rey, so he's happy enough. Would you like to see him stay another season, Bernard?
I think I do think it's probably right at the time. It didn't worry me, as I say. I didn't watch him play for Sociedad, but I think he was going to be more of a squad player. You don't really want to finish like that, do you? When you've been such an asset, if you like. And Gundo had a chat. He possibly could have been a similar sort of thing coming up with Gundo as well. But he was. He's on a slightly higher level, I think, to David when he left. I think Gundo at the moment, just slightly, not a lot, but Gundo still definitely had time. David probably had time in a lesser league, if you like, a lesser ability to win things at a slightly lower level, which is what it is. Underneath the main guys, it's it's all they're all much the same, aren't they? That they can win cups and stuff like that.
Look at his his stats. So his first season at City, he played 53 times, 49, 41, 40, 42, 36 in 2016, 45, 40, 50, which is a bit out of sync for him in that. But it was that formidable season. 33 league games, he played 50 times that season, scored 10 goals. That's not a bad season, actually. Season before, he played 40 times and scored 10 goals. And his final season at City.
Yeah, he did pretty well. I mean, I've not looked back, but he seems to have done pretty well injury-wise. He didn't until this, of course, but he seemed to be okay. I do remember him picking up injuries, but obviously nothing too drastic based on those figures you shouted out.
I think his worst season for games was 24, so I suspect there was some injuries, something involved there, because 24 just seems way too low for someone like David Silva. This season he was 32.
Yeah, that's an Aguero type season, that, isn't it?
let's see what no guys are commenting. So, yeah, as we said, it'd be sad to see him go, but I'm all retired from football. He's left City a few years ago. We come to terms with that.
How long do these things take to sort themselves out?
I reckon it's going to be a good best part of 9 months.
9 months, as long as that.
Yeah, I see. I don't. Obviously, it depends on the severity. It really does depend on the severity.
Yeah, because you can only imagine. I don't know what was his contract. Was it ending this year anyway?
I don't know anything about that. See, I'm just looking at one place I look at is a Cleveland Clinic, say between 6 and 9 months. As I said, it depends upon the severity of the injury, how long it's going to be, but you'll get full use of your knee back between 6 and 9 months. And he's already 37, he'll be 38 then by the time he's got that. And then he needs to train. He needs to get back. So
he didn't seem to any ambition coaching wise, did he, from what I remember?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I don't think, like Gundo did, didn't he? He was doing badges and stuff, wasn't he? But I don't think David Silva had any sort of things like that in his mind.
I've not heard anything about that. He didn't do many interviews, did he? If you think about it.
No.
Very quiet and unassuming.
No trouble. Just no trouble. That's what, I mean, we can't say that about all our squad at the moment. It was just perfect, no trouble whatsoever. And, the media probably couldn't find anything on him. And so they just give up probably in the end and they just let him get on with it.
Absolutely. Is there any other news, Bernard, before we sign off for the night? Any other news? I can't think of
No, anything. Obviously the game tomorrow. Are you managing to watch it tomorrow?
What time?
11 a.m.
No, I'll be on the road. I've got to get...
Well, I've had to re-sign to City Plus for a month, so I can watch these games after dropping it, after cancelling it. But I mean, I didn't want to take a chance of getting it on a dodgy site. So, having said that, they let us down sometimes. I've watched games on City Plus before now, and they've gone off before the end and stuff like this because they've not done it very well. Yeah. So, obviously, I've redone that, so I'll be watching it tomorrow anyway. But
yeah. I mean,
it'll be very interesting. I'll just say I have put an 11 out there, but how much of that 11 it's going to be, I have no idea.
You're too
brave. I'm brave. Yeah. I challenge other people to do it as well to see what they come out with. But
the problem I've got is at 11 o'clock. I've got to be on the road. It's a 2-hour drive, I think.
Yeah, I saw the press conference today. And I did watch the highlights of the game back in 2019. Was it we played them?
Yeah.
And obviously they won the J League last season, didn't they? And I've seen snippets this season, and they're flying at the moment. They're obviously into their season. They're fully fit. I predicted a 3-3 draw, but they beat Celtic 6-4 the other day. I don't know what sort of team they put out, but I'm hoping we'll get out with our pride intact. I think because it could easily end up in defeat tomorrow.
Yeah. Just checking. Oh no! So I just had a terrible thought. I'm just checking the shoe. No, all right. I'll tell you the story. I got a message from my mechanic, my guy who owns garage that I took my car, and because my car, the engine went pop like that, and I haven't got it fixed. He said to me I could borrow a car from him. He said I got this car at home, I'm not using it. You can borrow it if you want. Give it back whenever. I said, he said all they have to do is pay for the insurance and the road tax, which is really very generous of him, And so I borrowed his car, and he got a letter from. I got done in a speed trap, but it wasn't by the coppers. It was by the residents in this little village up in the northeast, because I was doing, the limit was 30. I was doing a couple of miles above 30, so they had their own camera, and so I got this letter, and so he just sent me the letter. He doesn't say anything. He probably is judging me, but just sent me that. And I said, all right, okay. But there's no points or anything, so it's fine. Because he's still registered in his name. And he just sent me another, I think, and it's a 2-page. Oh, I thought, I've been nabbed for speeding. I occasionally, I do a lot of driving. I'm doing best part of 30,000 miles a year. occasionally your foot, you're just driving along and you just don't realise
Yeah, of
how
course
fast
you
you're
do.
going.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're going 5 miles an hour on the
And
clock.
to be honest with you, I mean, there's so many changes in speeds in places you don't know. It's very hard sometimes to know, have I seen a sign for 30 or 40?
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult.
Yeah. So I just got this thing, but actually it's just because the ULEZ is changing and my car is not compliant. But I was panicking that I've got, because I did get done up, didn't get done. It was another one where I saw the coppers on top of the bridge. And I'm like, hit the anchors. But the thing is, even if you're going 2 miles above the limit, you hit the anchors because of the coppers. You make sure you go drive past at 5 miles under the limit. Everybody's slamming the anchors on, so I thought better look at that. Got to keep on top. I'm just so it's just hard work driving around all the time at the moment.
And obviously, nothing on the transfers. I mean, obviously, Guardiola's hit a problem, hasn't it? Apparently, and Mahrez is obviously nothing on that just yet.
Mahrez is going, mate.
I'm just saying, there's nothing, no reason why they can be holding back. Just get it sorted and get it done.
He's having a medical, and that's the thing. And Friday's the holy day, so I guess Friday they won't be doing medical. So I think.
Well, Guardiola, what's going to happen with that?
Wait and see. I said this before. I still think it'll go through, but it's a couple of things. One, Leipzig don't need the money. They sold Schlobberschlag to Liverpool, and I think they sold somebody else. So they're not desperate for the money. They've got plenty. So they'll wait till they get what they want. Now, the other thing is City won't allow themselves to be bent over. Okay? We've seen it time and time again. We would wanted Alexis Sanchez, but they tried it on with us. Eden Hazard, they tried it on with us. Other players, Fred, trying to think who else. There's one or two others end up at United. But if we think if someone's trying to take us for a ride or pull a fast one, we're not interested. So maybe Leipzig, City are not happy with something that Leipzig are doing, or maybe City's valuation is too low. And I'm just talking about him now, Sam. Maybe Leipzig, who don't need the money and not desperate, said, this is it. If you don't pay this, he's not going anywhere. And City, could well be that City say, well, we don't think he's worth 100. We think he's worth 80. Like Harry Maguire, we won't go any higher. So a week ago, if you asked me about Guardiola, very confident. Now, some of that confidence has gone, which is all in normal, I think, because you ask yourself, what's the delay about? Between the player and City, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's between his club and City. So it's Leipzig and City. Maybe they don't like the way we're doing the installments. Maybe we tried to offer them the Arsenal installment plan over 16 years. Or
the Barcelona one, don't pay anything at all. Yeah, that plan.
So now they get away with that. We don't need Guardiola, but he can improve us. That's it. That's MCFC protocol. You don't need anybody. I mean, Mahrez doesn't need those 25 million pounds, but he's just going to take them. So we don't need Guardiola, but we'd love to have him, because I think with Guardiola, Diaz, Ake, Akanji, Stones, Rico, Lewis, 6 people fighting for 4 spots is going to push up the quality. I think that because every single one of them knows that their position isn't secure, because Diaz can play, all of them can play a multitude of positions, a minimum of 2. So everybody knows there's always somebody else who can take their spot. Nathan Ake knows he's playing left centre back and left back. Well, if Guardiola comes, he plays them both those positions as well. So I think it's gonna add to the competition. And if we can keep it on the right side of healthy, then I just think that will improve us. So, no, we don't need him. We don't need Guardiola. But I think he does improve us and he pushes the players to play better. You know, that's one of my gripes with Walker in the past. He's not had the competition to make him honest, keep him honest. I said it to him about Mahrez. He's until Pep put Bernardo out on the right, who was going to challenge Mahrez? So if Mahrez, and he did, had a dropped off in a game, he had a poor game, who was going to replace him? When Foden was injured, nobody. Until Pep brought Bernardo back, and Mahrez, that's it. You know, Mahrez was, I think, in charge of his own destiny. He wasn't playing well enough. That's it. He's unfortunate. He had a couple of poor games, let's say, or not so good games, and Bernardo came back and kept that right wing spot for himself. We are not getting a Mahrez replacement. Oscar Bob will play. Well, I hope Oscar Bob gets a chance. But what worries me is if let's say what I think is going to happen at the moment. Mahrez is going. Gundogan's gone. Okay. We lost two really important players. We need to replace senior players with good quality players. I don't think we can rely on having kids and saying, well, Gundogan's gone. Hey, let's put, let's say Cole Palmer will cover for him. Yeah. Mahrez has gone. McAtee will cover for him. No, you're asking for trouble. I think we need.
Very important. I mean, you can't cover for Gundogan with it because he's a big miss. It's what he brought to the table. You can't get that with any of the young guys we've got at the moment.
Yeah, I said this. I think we need two players. And it all depends on what Bernardo does as well. Still, we're only a couple of weeks away from the start of the season, and we don't know exactly what's going on. MCFC protocol says Kovacic will replace Gundogan. Well, I'm not sure they're the same player, but if he can score a few goals, I'll be happy. I think that's a good start.
Yeah, I don't think anyone replaces Gundogan. He just changes the tactic, just changes the way we play to compensate rather than replacing him. You can't do it.
Absolutely right, Bernard. Absolutely right. Right, I will have to go because I'm sure I'm just babbling away now. And before I become even more incoherent and spiting gibberish, I need to get some shut-eye going. And then try and hopefully I will do. I was supposed to record this video with Colin Savage on Thursday night, but there was a incident in my hotel in South Wales, and I couldn't get down the corridor because the police were there arresting this woman, and so we missed a slot with Colin. So hopefully I'll be recording with Colin tomorrow night. I think I'm going to Larne, so I'm going into Larne, not Belfast, tomorrow, and so I should be at my digs by 5 o'clock, unpacked and ready by 6. So hopefully I'll get my chat with Colin done tomorrow, talking about sponsorship. So that'll be interesting. So guys, look out for that. That'll probably come out on Monday. I can't see myself recording it because it won't go out live. I can't see myself recording it, doing all the editing and sticking it and updating it and sticking it out and everything in a couple of hours, which is really what you want to do. But if you want to go and watch some videos, there's a ton of stuff out there at the moment. You can go and watch. There's a video about Carlos Borges, which is done over 4K. You can go and watch the Cole Palmer video. You can watch. We did a video a few weeks ago. You might remember this, Bernard, about James Trafford. That's still doing well. People are still going to watch that. Riyad Mahrez. And this is, I was actually tempted to do a video just about this. The Riyad Mahrez video in Arabic has done nothing. No one cares. I think that's it. No one cares that Mahrez is going, which is it is a bit sad, you know, and I think that's a reflection of my channels. You know, the other videos I've been putting out recently have been getting between 10 and 20 times as much as that Maris video. So Maris fanboys, where have you been?
Oh, God, deserted you now, mate. As soon as it was hinted, that was it. They dropped out.
Yeah. Or last thing I will say, some guy put, I don't know where these clans come from. Some guy put out an exclusive that Bernardo Silva's going to extend his contract. And I thought, well, hang on. I saw that. You're putting this exclusive up today, this evening. I saw that as an exclusive on Wednesday on Twitter. Someone already talked about it. We did a video about it on Thursday. Everybody was talking about it. How can you have this exclusive now at whatever, 4 o'clock on a Saturday when we've been talking about it since Wednesday? Anyway. Mate, I did an exclusive the other day. I did an exclusive. Did you see that exclusive video? I'm going to tell you what it was. You're going to shake. You either laugh or shake your head when I find this.
Can I do both?
Let's find it. It was let's see if I can find
it. Twitter Spaces. What are they then? MCFC Protocol.
Twitter Spaces. Yeah, a lot of people do that on Twitter Spaces. You can get hundreds of people on, I think. I've joined a few. I don't know how to set them up. So I joined them when I've had other people set them up and they want to talk to me.
You have to be verified for those.
I don't think so. But I remember there's an Algerian journalist. He wants to talk about Mahrez and City, of course. So he's a good guy, actually, a good friend with him. And he set up a Twitter space, invited me along, and then he sorted it all out because he wanted to interview me. And then I've done a few others where Patrick knows how to do them, so I'll have a look at that. Let me just find that video. What it was. My exclusive interview. Can't find it.
Very exclusive, mate.
I was talking to you.
About what?
I can't remember. But in the title, I put exclusive interview with Bernard Deneen.
About? I saw that the other day on something exclusive. I thought, what the bloody hell is he on about here?
That would have been the one. It has to be.
It was only a few days ago, but it wasn't the title, but it was in the title.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't the title.
It was like the end of the title, like you're like after ACL injury on this one. It was at the end, exclusive interview with Bernard Deneen. All right, okay.
Let's have a look at it here.
It would have been called something else, but that's at the end.
Yeah, good. Here we go. Would it be the Man City? Here we go. The Man City on tour official squad list revealed. Exclusive interview with Bernard Deneen.
I thought you'd gone potty or something, so I didn't comment.
Oh no, people are putting all sorts of exclusive stuff on stuff like it. So I just thought for a laugh I'll put exclusive. What's I'm sorry, I'm just chatting away. So this is Patrick, true City fan. I'm not sure I can read it. It's about Barbie. Yeah, all right. So Patrick's gone to see Barbie by the looks of it.
I'll be watching that when I get a chance.
Sorry?
I'll be watching it when I get a chance.
Yeah. Right. Well, you're very big into your movies, aren't you?
Yeah. MCFC Protocol. Have you got your hat up there, Ray? He's saying, have you got a Twitter account?
Yeah, I've got a Twitter account. It's
not showing our hats, is it, on the thing?
Yeah, I'm very what's the word? Here we go. I'll pop it up. Oops, wrong. Copy. I'll pop it into the link. I had some guy who was a Burnley fan, and because we did that video on James Trafford, and he said he made some comments about James Trafford and stuff, and he said he's surprised that we don't have more subscribers because apparently, I guess some of the stuff we talk about is quite quite decent. I think you were on that video, weren't you, Jim Strafford video? So that it must have been referring to you then. But no, we do some reasonable stuff. I will have a look at the Twitter Spaces again. But one of the things I try to step
Is
away.
that what they pop up in like a blue box or something? A blue box pops up on Twitter. And
it's a purple thing. You can go. Basically, it's like a load of people can listen. So a lot of people can listen, and then the host can invite people in to talk. So it's like a podcast.
Is it just audio?
Yeah.
No video.
Pretty sure it's just audio. So you get a load of people. As I said, you can have 200 people listening, but only the host can decide who speaks.
Right.
So I might have got look at that and see if I can finally work it out. But the thing is, as I was saying, I stepped away from social media a bit because it can become all consuming, and I wasn't doing anything else that was as useful. And you end up spending when your phone says you spent 12 hours on your phone today, you think, what was I doing? It's a bit of some work because you've got to promote yourself, but not for other stuff. Yeah, we'll do some stuff. I mean, that guy asked me why we haven't got more. I'll be honest, the reason is because I can't stick to one channel. This is my third YouTube channel with talking about Man City. We had the Man City Fan TV days. So that was the first, I think, about a year and a bit. Then I had Man City Fan Chat, where that actually was doing quite well. It had over 3,000 subscribers, but that was a couple of years ago, I think. And then this channel. So I will try do a bit. What's this? Do full time. I do full time. No. I cannot afford to do YouTube full time. This is a problem. Okay. When I'll give you the example of Stephen. Stephen had a part-time job, I think, working in football, which allowed him to do the YouTube stuff. I've got a full-time job. Okay, I've got 2 kids to feed, and I can't afford to do YouTube full-time. I've got my own job, which is just started to pick up my own business. So the YouTube. Funny thing is, if I'm and you don't know this when you start. If someone said to me, "You can earn X this year on YouTube, or you will earn X," if that X is enough, I would do it. I'd have done it, and it's a bit sad, but if you go back to the Man City Fan TV days, I firmly believe in the main channels, if that had survived as it was back in the day, it would waltz past Cheesy. I don't see why it wouldn't have 50 or 60,000 subscribers now. Because we were getting plenty of interest. People were asking us for adverts and collabs, and not can you do a collab with us, but paid stuff. So because there was no one else really doing it. So the space is there for anybody. That's why City Extra came in. There's a space, and they filled it. There's still a space for fan. There's still a space for fan cams. No one's doing it. Not really. Excuse me. And the problem is, I've said it before. On your own, you can't do it. Cheesy does it in a different way. You can't do like the AFTV style 10 interviews after a game. You can't do it on your own. It's really difficult. Excuse me. It's really difficult unless you do it on Instagram or something immediate. Which is why I've done some live streams at the ground instead of, in the past I used to take a video. I could send it off to either Andy or my mate Cole, and they would upload it and do whatever was needed. Well, it's just me now. So it becomes very, very difficult to do that. And as I said, if I went YouTube full time, I wouldn't make enough money. But yourself, you do your YouTube stuff. There's not enough money in it until you get to a certain level. And then you've got to go in full time if you want to get somewhere with it. But I still say look, if you look at it, people come through at the right time, and there's a bit of luck involved. Stephen came through at the right time after Blooming Rising TV went. Boovie came through at the right time. You know, he got lucky. You know, and you can see with GSGC's got lucky. It's about luck. At Man City Fan TV, we were lucky. Everybody's lucky. You've got to come through at the right time. Have a bit of luck, work hard. But I still think there's opportunities for people because it's like the social media space, the desire for knowledge and fan opinion is growing all the time. That's why AFTV must have over 1.5 million subscribers. I haven't checked, but they're still expanding really well. That's why they put crass videos out of going rice, or people dancing. No, but they put
because for every bad comment, you probably get 2 or 3 likes, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, but people watch it. People watch it because it's so bad, and they get paid whether you like it or not. If you've watched it and they get advertising, they get money. So, King Harland, I'd love to do, you know, but
I mean, YouTube used to say themselves, don't worry about bad reactions as long as you're getting reactions. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you know. But I don't like that. I don't want bad reactions. I want good reactions. I don't want people to, you know.
Yeah, I hate thumbs downs. I do.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's. Even if it's only 2 thumbs up, I'd rather have that than any thumbs down.
Well, we went through that phase on Man City Fan Chat, I think, where we would regularly get a certain number of thumbs down, and they always came in a very short space of time. There was a video, I remember, I said this before, my mate Cole said, this is what's going on, okay? All your thumbs down come in a very short time frame. So it's more than likely someone's logging in, logging in, thumb down, log out, another account, or 2 or 3 people are doing this and they've all got 2 or 3 accounts. And there's a video, and I remember this. It was a kind of a time-sensitive video, as in it was made on a day, and it was only for that day. And it's something. It's like if you do a history video, you could put it out anytime you want. But you do something like for argument's sake, a live team news video. Well, not many people are going to watch it after the event because it's gone. Certainly not a day after. And I had a video that was. No one was watching it because I put it out a day or 2 days before, and suddenly I thought, what's going on here? Why are people watching this video? And it was, I think, 3 bars. So in 1 minute, 3 people had logged on. The next minute, 3 people had logged on to watch it. The next minute, 3 people. And I think I got 9 down ticks in that time. And so you knew it was dodgy. So yeah, I don't mind taking a bit of criticism, Big Morgan, but not from the likes of you, mate. You can do one, okay? No, to be honest, I'd take a little bit, and then if someone's gone a bit too far, I'd just say, right, do one, buddy. I'm going to block you from the channel. Right, you guys have made me just, well, I probably helped by chatting for half an hour, chatting shit for half an hour, for absolutely no reason. When I need to be going to bed because I've got it's not a long drive, 2 hours to get to the ferry tomorrow, and then probably 45 minutes at the other end. But I've got a lot of work to do, and got to gear up to go to see Mike. Sorry, Mike.
When you see Mike?
Well, he's coming back. He's supposed to be coming back at the end of the month.
Oh, I thought you said he was already there then. I was saying you were going to see him.
No, I'm going to see him. I'm trying to build up to seeing him. But that's this. I shouldn't record this. Do you think he'll be there?
Yeah.
Like the FA Cup game?
Yeah.
I hope so. I've got 2 days free to go and see Mike. So he said he's going to take me fishing, which will be good. I hope he's fishing for fish Not down some local dive. Brannigan's, the land version of Brannigan's. Dear. Oh dear.
Go on, you're waffling now. Get off. Come on.
Yeah. It's the right time to speak. Bernard, lovely. I certainly wasn't wearing that top. And I think I've only brought 2 city tops with me. And I don't think you've got them. I brought 2 city tops. So we're not going to clash. So, I don't know.
When Big Morgan's been nasty to us, he's just prepared us for the worst. He's just making sure we can take the knocks. So that's what I like about Big Morgan. He doesn't. It's like Paul Hince. He'll criticise as and when necessary and flatter very rarely.
Here's a question, then. Bernard. So he calls himself Big Morgan. Do you think he's really small? Small Morgan. He just calls himself
4'6".
4'6" Morgan.
Hi-ho!
He's just bigging himself up by calling himself Big Morgan, like King Haaland. I mean, where does King Haaland come from?
King Haaland, the real goat. Well, he is the real goat, so we'll go with that.
Yeah. Is he? Finish off this. Here we go. Is he the best player in the world right now?
No.
So there you go. Honest. No. I didn't. If you said yes, I'd have been slightly disappointed because he isn't. He isn't. He's certainly not over the last 10 games he's played.
No. On current form, no.
We'll see tomorrow. We'll see what he's like.
We'll see tomorrow anyway. We could be raving over Oscar Bob and Peroni and all these guys tomorrow.
Yeah. I want to see McAtee play. Oscar Bob and McAtee, those 2. But I'll have hopefully, maybe if we do that, I'll have a chat with you tomorrow. You're going to watch the game, aren't you? Because you paid your money now. You're going to watch the full game, full 90.
Yeah, do you want to do a players' ratings on it, mate, afterwards, yeah?
Yeah. All right, I'll try and get a hold of you in the evening. We'll have a chat. I'll watch the highlights. I can't stomach 90 minutes. No, if it's live, that's all right, but I can't stomach 90 minutes afterwards. I'll watch the highlights. I'll watch our goals afterwards.
Might be very short highlights.
3-0.
I've gone for 3-3, so. But it wouldn't surprise me if we get beat.
3-3 would be a very interesting game. Right, I'm going to suck it up because half the people have gone now because we're just bobbing away. All right, Bernard, thanks, mate. Have a good evening. It's Saturday night. I hope you're doing it.
I'm going to have my curry now and watch Oppenheimer.
Okay. Last word. Okay. I went to this place. I don't know what it was. What's it called? I'm in Grangemouth. This place is called. I can't find the name. Okay. I thought I'd bought too much food. I got a 16-inch pizza and 4 samosas. Okay. I thought to myself, that's a bit too much. I'll be honest. The 4 samosas were basically that big. I'm used. Look, when you're used to Manchester stuff, you know what you know what a samosa is. It's I'd have 4 samosas as one meal. These were tiny. 4 samosas are like 1 samosa in Manchester. Couldn't believe that. It cost me £4. And he diddled me 10 pence on the add up. I'm not thick, I can add up. And this pizza is shite. It's one of the worst pizzas I've ever had in my life. Okay, and I've left about a third of the pizza. I don't leave food. I eat food. I don't waste anything. But this is so bad. I've had to give up. So whatever that place is called, I ain't going there again. Just if you come to Grangemouth, don't go. I'll tell you the name of this place because it's that bad. I need to. I can't find it, but it was. Give me a sec. I'm going to see if I can. Kismet Tandoori. Kismet. That means luck. I know. And it should have said bad kismet because bad kismet is bad luck because that was bad kismet. That's worse. And I had nothing to eat today. I had a pint of beetroot juice this morning and that were it. So what you do, you drink this beetroot juice when you go to the toilets at the services. And I went into the ladies by accident today. Honestly, it was an accident.
Those police that were in that hotel, they were there for you, mate. Don't kid us on it was someone else.
So what you do, you have this pint of beetroot juice and
Who the hell drinks beetroot juice? I never heard it in my life. I mean, beetroot's something you put on hot pot. I mean, what beetroot juice? What planet are you on?
Beetroot juice is supposed to, but the thing
If you say it 3 times, you get covered in it. Beetroot juice, beetroot juice, beetroot juice.
Dunk tank. The beetroot juice is supposed to help your brain cells.
Well, I'd give up, mate. It's not working.
I'm trying to regenerate my brain cells, and so I had a pint of beetroot juice. So that when you go to the toilet at the services, you don't flush it. So someone comes after you, thinks you've had a bad accident. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I don't do things like that. But sad news. But leave the last word to Dre, who's give us some proper comments. Sad news, but like Con, he's had an amazing career and has contributed so much to City. It could be just like you, Bernard. Just like
Con as well. I just wish we'd won the Champions League while he was there, but there you go.
That's life. Look, they can bask in our glorious treble, because without those two guys and others before them, even Andy Hinchcliffe, without all those guys, we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't have had the ups and downs. Can you look? But it's true. When you sometimes think. For instance, here's the thing, Bernard. Okay, do you remember David Pleat running on the pitch?
I remember him running off.
Were you chasing him?
Hey, I probably didn't see him, mate, because I probably had bloody tears in my eyes at the time. But there you go.
Oh, that was a sad time, and everybody for years, even now, if people would never go at me, they get that song at Who Sent City Down, Luton Town. I could kill them all. But if City had stayed up that season, we wouldn't be where we are today.
You don't know.
We might be
better. No one knows, mate. That's fate. That's just how it is. You don't know. You can't say that. It's like when they say, someone scores after 10 minutes or he misses a goal or something. I mean, the whole game changes from that point. So you can't, because the VAR decision is wrong or right. That doesn't mean a team would have won or lost. You just don't know.
Yeah, you're right. What's this? Do a City watch along. I'll tell you what, here's the truth, King Harland. If I do a City watch along at 11 o'clock, I'll be wrapped in some motorway hard shoulder barrier at 11:01 because I'm driving on the motorway. I've got a 2-hour drive. I can't do a watch along. I haven't. See, what I did was, look, we're wasting time here. But Bernard said he sacked off City Plus once to put the prices up. And in solidarity with Bernard, I sacked off City Plus, okay? And now, at the first opportunity, Bernard subscribed to it again. And I'm not going to copy. I've copied you once.
I can't watch the match unless I subscribe to it. So, I mean, I've had to.
Well, I can't say I'll send you a link, but
No, I've got dodgy streams, but I just can't rely on if one's going to be working. So I thought, well, for the sake of a month's fee, I'll just pay it.
Yeah. Right, guys, that's it. End of story. Thanks for joining us. If you've honestly, if you've watched the full hour and 14 minutes, especially if you've watched it on playback, if you haven't watching it live, I can accept that you are hoping that we'll say something good. Okay. But if you've watched this on playback, 1 hour and 14 minutes, go and seek medical attention. Okay. Because there's something wrong with you. Certainly something wrong with us too. And I will send you some of these videos, Bernard. I'll let you have a look at what I got up to today. Normally, people send you a few seconds of a video. This woman sent me about 2 minutes. So there's no...
I'm sure she did, yeah. Although I've had them videos myself, mate. I don't open them.
Oh, no, that gets me into the act I did today. When your bubble pops a little bit early. And you look...
Just come on live, guys. And if you haven't watched it back, there's some good stuff on Paul Hince and David Silva. So watch the start, guys. It's more informative.
Watch the first 20 to 30 minutes.
30 minutes, it's fine.
Yeah, after that.
Then Ray starts getting comfortable in bed and it all goes to pot.
I was comfortable in bed to start with. I'm absolutely knackered. I used to do this on Bolton and Blue podcast occasionally when I was tired. You start a sentence with an idea of what you're going to say, and halfway through you forget what you were going to say, and then you're left there floundering. And it's a couple of occasions on Bolton and Blue podcast. But oh, come on, it was listening to Colin and Mike talking. I fell asleep. It was that boring.
They'll be listening.
No, they won't. I can say anything. It's safe. And young Mike, and young.
Yeah. Cheers, Blackpool. Cheers, King Garland. Cheers, Drapey. Everybody.
Well, I'll be back to normal tomorrow.
Big Morgan.
Cheers, guys. Take care. See you later. Bernard.